welcome to Young Kids League the One YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red subscribe button down below and turn on the bell icon. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section.
Greetings, fellow citizens. So today I want to continue with a series of unpacking the proposed amendments to our constitution, and I want to pick one, proposed amendment, which is in regards to individuals who wants to contest as independent candidates. Now, this is a very, personal issue to me because I am an independent member of parliament. Now, before I speak to this matter, there's an issue that I've picked in the constitution which I have not thoroughly investigated or analyzed, but I think that I want to seek the indulgence of lawyers to help me interrogate this particular proposal. Now, one of the things the UPND are proposing, Muri amendment, they want to change the time frame of a tenure. Because today, the way it is, ngabami votela, you start working as members of parliament. Parliament gets to be dissolved 3 months before the general election date. Remember, elections are held on the 12th of August. So what happens is that 3 months before the 12th of August, Parliament is dissolved. Now, when Parliament is dissolved, it means wonse baempi nchito shapwa kwaba nomba ama vacancies. Why we go for elections is because there are vacancies in all elective positions. Monse muli omwe aba tufulo, aba saliro, ba councillor, ba mayor, ba MP na ba president. Icho kwilo kuya mukubasala is because when parliament is dissolved, ninshibonse inchito shapwa. It's like a job interview. When a manager or a job order or a position order is fired or resigns, or there's a vacancy in that office, you can then ask for people to apply for that position because it is vacant. Now, what is being proposed, just by the way, because I want this issue for people to start looking at it, especially the legal minds. The UPND are now proposing to say, let's now extend the tenure or the time frame that MPs remain in parliament. Instead of dissolving parliament 3 months to the general election date, they now want to move the date to the 11th of August. So meaning that parliament will now be dissolved a day before the election date, which is the 11th of August. Now, what has been bothering my mind is, how is it that a member of parliament who is still serving as a member of parliament will go and vie for the same position that is still holding on? Because when you file in nominations, okay, because I want to believe that candidates will still be filing in nominations 3 months before the 12th of August, including the member of parliament if he wants to be re-elected. Now, I want to understand the rationale in the thinking. How are you going to subject a position to election such that people even file in a nomination to contest for that position which has not yet been declared vacant? Because you declare a position vacant when parliament is dissolved. So in my mind, I have a lot of challenges in understanding how this is going to work. That's why you must look at the broader, implication of a particular decision. So if you are going to allow MPs to go all the way up to the 11th of August, but in the meantime, you now declare their seats vacant, because if you're going to ask for people to vie for that position, it must be vacant. But if dissolution is going to be on the 11th of August, it means that position is not vacant. Tefyo. Tampishe ekifulo ekyakwebata omuntu n'ayekalamu mu kifulo mwebe ati yo compete for this position, and you as a member of parliament, how are you going to compete, okay, for a position that you still are holding on? Now, this is food for thought. I'll come another day to interrogate this subject further. I am still studying its implication so that I can have a depth as I discuss this matter. Now, the subject today I want to discuss is the election of independent candidates. Now, the Constitution in Article 51 says, a person is eligible for election as an independent candidate for a National Assembly seat if in A, that person is not a member of a political party and has not been a member of a political party for at least 2 months immediately before the date of elections. Mumfikisha paino, umuntu kutayimirira nga independent candidate nga kyakwebata ulya muntu tabapo muli political party, or if he belongs to a political party, he must resign from that political party at least 2 months before the election date. Now, you know, colleagues, that election date is the 12th of August. So they are saying you must at least resign 2 months before the 12th of August if you belong to a political party. I'll give you myself as an example. Me, I used to be a Patriotic Front member. So when I applied to be adopted by the PF did not adopt me. Now, when they announced the adoption list, it was at least 3 months before the election date, before August 24. So it meant I could make a decision to stand as an independent because I only needed to resign from PF 2 months before the election date. But at the time of nomination, I still had 3 months to the next election. So I could resign even a day before the filing of nomination and still be able to qualify under the current constitution. What the UPND now is proposing is that bachinje babike okutila, at least if you are a member of a political party and you want to stand as an independent, you must resign at least 2 months before the date of nomination. Now, that becomes very tricky. If I am a member of a political party, I'll follow the process of the political party, apply to the political party. Ngabansha. I have got the right myself to say, okay, since you don't want me by PF and by UPND, I am going to stand on my own because the laws of this country gives me the right to participate in the election on my own, since imwe na munkana. But what this proposal is suggesting is that ngabakukana nishiwe chapwa tetuiminine as an independent candidate, because in fact adoptions are usually done a few days before the date of nominations. It means that once mweba abama political parties mweba lefo kuiminina mu 2026, you must at least resign 2 months before the election date. Now, you know kulabati you apply hoping that the party will pick you. But if the party does not pick you, now ukwatensambu to say, okay, since imwata mfuaya, ichi karika pansaka musumba wa wadi. Since tapali wadi kuline, I am now going to go on my own. Now by UPND, they are trying to remove that, to stop members from jumping when they are left in the adoption to go and stand as independents. Now, this is why this is being proposed. The most affected in terms of independence are usually the ruling parties. Okay? And the UPND knows very well that most of their members are going to go and stand or contest the next election as independents if they are not adopted. And I can give you examples. I know in Livingstone, I know in Choma, I know in Mazabuka, I know in Monze, I know in Kanyama, I know in Kabwe Centro, there are some members of the UPND who are fighting to be adopted, and some of these are very strong on the ground. Now, these guys in the UPND who are trying to compete with the incumbents, when the party will not adopt them, can make a decision to go and contest as independents. And most of these can win. I know that there's a man I will not mention in Choma. If that man is going to stand against Cornelius, he is going to beat Cornelius. So what UPND is trying to do is to curtail their members from going independent when they leave them out of the adoption. Uyubakwete mwenso. The fear of the unknown. Now, this is what fear does. Fear makes you do the unwanted. In this case, the UPND is proposing to disenfranchise some citizens from going to participate as independent candidates. I am saying this from experience that when I was left out of the adoption 2 times, in 2016 and 2021. In 2021, I said, if he katika pansaka musumba wabwali, I am now going to contest as an independent candidate. By UPND, for fear that a lot of their members are going to go solo, or are going to try and, stand as independent candidates, they now want to cure that to an extent where they have even opted to disenfranchise citizens who would want to go and contest as independent candidates. Now, I have been asking a question. Do you think that this proposal is in the interest of the citizens, or it is in the interest of the politicians? I can tell you without much ado that this proposal is in the interest of UPND to secure their stay in power, because they know that if we leave it, a lot of people are going to go out and stand as independent, and thereby it's going to diminish our chances of having more members of parliament in parliament. This decision is not whatsoever in the interest of the general citizen, because the law, which is in this constitution, permits or empowers citizens to participate in electoral processes when they feel like. And so when you curtail citizens by way of this useless proposal, you are basically disenfranchising a citizen from enjoying their rights, that they can also participate in the election when you don't see value in them. Now, it's important, citizen, at this point, we all agree that echo tupangira amafunde, why we enact laws, is to govern ourselves. And these laws, therefore, everybody must be agreeable. Even when you enjoy, the monopoly of numbers in parliament, true leadership would also ensure that you convince everyone, because here we are trying to come up with a law that is going to govern ourselves, we are going to be governed by. So you cannot ride on the name of, we enjoy popularity, we enjoy incumbents, we have got numbers in parliament, and enact laws that the citizens are not going to agree with. The question would be, niba nani mwala pangira amafunde ayo, because amafunde abekala chalo bafire basuminishanya batira to to be ruled by these laws. Now, if you are going to try and secure your stay in power to an extent of disenfranchising citizens, then it means that amafunde tamule pangira abantu, ayamafunde mule ipangira fe mwebene to continue staying in power. So I'll leave it up to you, because I can tell you the best MP you can have are those who have an independent mind. And so we need as many independents as possible. And so to enact a law that stops people from going to participate in the election as independent does not in any way goes to advance the interests of the people. It only goes to advance the interests of the politicians who are scared of losing the election. Therefore, they want to play imingalato to stop others from participating in the elections. My name is Bino Wampundu, MP from Kana. until tomorrow as I tackle another area of the proposed amendment. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness.